Alright, so I kind of realized in the span of talking about things, there has been one person I have been yet to mention, but haven't had the right material to present, and that is until now. And that person I'm talking about is Rob Zombie. And what I'm about to get into is pretty interesting, so let's get into it. Rob has always been an insanely divisive filmmaker, and he's always been one of my favorites. I have a thing for divisive filmmakers if you haven't noticed. Some people love him, others despise him. When it comes to people having their criticisms with Rob, I can fully well understand where they're coming from. But to me, it doesn't bother me. He's always been a man of extremes, and I love when people get extreme and push boundaries and overall just kind of push people's buttons. It always ends up in something fresh we've never seen before that goes down in history, either the right side or the wrong side, as some could argue. Much like his Halloween movies, which I absolutely adore. And if I'm being brutally honest, I know I'll get some flack for this, but his Halloween 2 is one of my favorite movies of all time, and I will stand by that till I die. Maybe one day I'll make a video on it because I really want to, but oh man, I don't have the balls for that yet, but I digress. So as of recently, it has been announced that Rob Zombie has got his hands on writing and directing a movie on the Munsters. Interesting, right? And I imagine there are some extremely staggering viewpoints on this, which I understand, but the more I think about it, the more I think that Rob might be onto something here. Before I go any further, I just want to make it clear that the Munsters have never been a part of my life. I remember growing up, scrolling through the channels, seeing it on, and always being confused why there was this discount Addams Family that was all comedy just floating about. It always confused my small child brain because I always expected it to be scary and not so sitcom-y. But I guess that's the charm of it all. So since it never appealed to me, I never watched it. But interesting enough, Mr. Zombie freaking loves this shit. So much so that he has apparently seen every episode 17 times, has been chasing this project for 20 years, which is about the same time span as his career as a filmmaker. He made his own logo resemble their logo pretty much to a T. And you know that song of his, Dragula? Yeah, that's actually the name of the Munsters car within the show. It appears he has a great deal of respect towards the franchise. It very much sounds like this is going to be a passion project of his, or some would say his white whale. And when those elements are in play, the product should never disappoint. Well, one would hope. Rob is also past due to make a good movie as well, not to mention well received. I didn't like 3 from Hell, nor did I like 31, but everything else before that is top tier, in my opinion. So I think it's time for him to climb back up again, in my twisted books at least. He has always had an incredible eye for the psychobilly aesthetic, honing in on his own extremely unique, grindhouse-esque, vintage trash look that I think could breathe some killer new life into the world of the Munster family. With the family being that of social outcasts, it is right up Rob's alley as all of his films deal with those kinds of characters. Since the OG is all comedy, and everything that Mr. Zombie has made has been strictly horror, maybe he'll finally give this family what I think they deserve by having a healthy balance of the two, while hopefully not being over the top as he likes to go all the time, because that's honestly one of his weak points.
Hi everybody, I'm home!
Bitch, I will crawl over there and I will skull fuck the shit out of you!
Speaking of over the top, I'm hoping that his writing will be cleaned up for this. Don't get me wrong, his trashy dialogue doesn't bother me. I think that might be the Albertan within me. But I really do want to see him progress past that, as I think it's getting a little stale at this point, and I really want to see some substance and heart inserted into his work. The man is like 56, and I would love to see his movies get more mature instead of always just being the same old trash. I fully believe that Rob Zombie has yet to make the defining movie of his career. Some believe House of a Thousand Corpses and Devil's Rejects are. Others might believe the Halloween movies are, but I refuse to believe that, since I know that he is capable of doing 10 times better than that, though I think all those movies are great. He has an eye like nobody else I've ever seen and can make anything that takes place during Halloween look absolutely phenomenal. I also believe that if he didn't always cast his wife and homies in literally everything, he could step out of his comfort zone a little more and make a more solid project. But we should know by now he only makes movies for himself and nobody else, which I don't blame him. There's not a whole lot known about this project yet, but we know that his wife Sheri Moon Zombie is playing Lily Munster, of course, and Jeff Daniel Phillips is Herman Munster. They honestly both look like they fit the part extremely well, so maybe this is history in the making and we're about to witness a banger whenever this gets released. So with all the factors that are in play, especially with this deep respect for the franchise, I will remain hopeful. And I also just want to add in there, doing my research for this video, when you search up the Munsters on YouTube and you go to their YouTube page, all of their clips are uploaded as of like extremely recently, so maybe there's something going on here. Who knows? Coincidence? Maybe, maybe not. Don't let us down, Rob. But anyways, this is Freddy Savage. I'm bringing you the very little amount of news we have on the Munsters. I'll see you next time.
New waitress over at the bingo lounge. She can give me the freaky eye. Maybe I'll choke the chicken, purge my snorkel all over them flappy ass tits.